Hey folks, Karo here. Dungeon Hunter Champions video for you. I want to talk about one of my favourite units in the game, so let's hop straight in there and have a look at her.
So the lady in question I want to talk about is this lady, the Ultimate Mai. I'm not going to try and pronounce her properly because I probably can't pronounce that name. But I got her a while back and I was over the moon when I did summon her because A, she's an Nat 5 and B, she's actually quite a decent damage dealer. And she has some pretty good skill sets that I want to talk about, and I think a lot of people underestimate these ladies. I think the reason they do is because the gear required. So the gear that she's on is the standard King of Fighters gear, so you know, the hyperdrive fill rate and the super skill damage. Her build is attack speed, cry damage, attack. And if I come over here and you look at her stats here, she's got a 94% cry rate and 154% cry damage. 33% accuracy, so that's always useful. Probably her weak spot here is that max HP. She's only just over the 30k mark. But why do I like her skill sets? So let's click over here quickly. So the first one, and this is one of the skills I do like, is the Ninja Arts. Hits 3 times in quick succession after using a superpowered skill. The next hit removes a legendary debuff. Now that's from her one nearby ally and generate bonus. So it helps remove a legendary debuff, and that's very unique. There's not many skills out there that will cleanse a legendary debuff. The whole reason they're legendary is to prevent that from happening. Now, so there's that. Damage based on attack speed, hence the reason her shoulder gear is attack speed. I'm not going to try and pronounce the skill, but it basically raises the attack speed of herself and nearby allies. Again, damage off attack speed. He raises defense of nearby allies and jumps into the air, diving to the attack target area, and damages and lowers attack. Again, attack speed. Now her final skill, and this is another reason I love her, is this one applies a legendary block debuff. So it prevents creatures from actually putting any buffs on themselves. So where would this be useful? Alright, so let's jump out of here, and in scenario, the best place I'll find for her is here. Still Widow. Alright, so let's give this a run. So, first thing you'll notice about this team is there is no stripper. Now, most people will use strippers in Steel Widow teams because the immunity buff and the invincibility buff. Both buffs prevent you from putting debuffs on and dealing damage, and as you can see from this team, debuffs are vitally important because I'm using 2 Dark Snake Ladies and they apply damage over time, poison. The leader of them I'm using is the what's her name? What's his name? I used to know his name. The fire unit there at the front. So he applies dots, so that's part of the reason I've used him as well. So he applies damage over time, poison, but he also lessens the cooldown times of skills by 20%, which is useful. Now, as you can see, look at that. That legendary debuff has been pretty much there the whole way through this, and that's the standard play for this team. And Magical Girl obviously there for the cleanse / heal. So nicely done, taken care of. Not a great gear, so I'll sell up. So as you can see, I don't need a stripper with her. She just completely continues that block debuff. So I use her there. Now, I do use her in other locations. I use her in the arena. So let's find a match where I'll find her useful. Here we go. Here we go. This is a classic example of where she is useful. So I'm going to bring that in. I'm going to take you out, and I'm going to put you in. Now, just quickly, just to highlight this, always go back in here at the beginning of the week to work out the season effects. So the cry rate of my Dark Vampire has dropped. So let's bear that in mind. He's got his own stripper, but he has 2 debuffs. So I'm using an AoE stripper and the legendary block. So let's see how we go. Let's see how we go. These guys will all be tanky, so I'm probably inclined to attack the magical girl first. So we'll see how we go. Over the magical girl first. Okay. Didn't get the legendary debuff block. Can we get the strip? Oh, we got the legendary debuff on everything bar her. So wonderful. Alright, we'll change targets. We'll go over to you. Come on. There we go. Keep it up, keep it up. Do I throw that meal? Yep. There we go. Oh, come on. There we go. Magical Girl. So we're still getting that immunity from the nature cleric there. There we go. Yeah, and as you can see, that damage dealing is quite intense. I might actually focus on you, finish you off. Yep, okay. On to the last unit. Can I do it? Can I do it? Yep, there we go. So as you can see, not only is the strip important, but with her putting that legendary block buffs, it then prevents them from being able to rinse or repeat and put more things on. So she hasn't landed it yet. Here we go. It's on. It's on. Come on. And then the legendary block heal is useful as well from the Dark Vampire there. Come on, get rid of him. Get rid of him. You can do it. So close. Okay, legendary blocks and everything else now. There we go. Got him. Over to you, magical girl. Oh no. Oh, just finishing her off. I'm gonna lose the second round. Lose the second round. Come on, finish. What's this one? Only just. That's a pain in the rear end. Time out. Okay, try again. I might go back to the magical girl first. Let's see what we go. Alright, so we got the block here. Blocked. And done. Girls out of the picture. Now focusing on the dark Archangel. Just die. There we go. And let's see, I'm going to focus on the Nature Cleric next. And Bob's your uncle. So as you can see, that legendary block debuffs is legendary block buffs is a useful, very useful tool, and that's where she exceeds. She does damage, so let's have a look at the damage from that team. And you can see she did most of the damage in that. The Dark Vampire didn't do much, but that's partly because at the moment he's got a minus significant amount portion of his cry rate. Let's actually go to the arena and check that. So my Dark Vampire is built on the equivalent of not Brutal, what's the other one? Mortal? I think it's Mortal. And so obviously he requires high cry rate, which he's got. He's got 70% cry rate. Which attack you, but 80% of that cry rate is gone, so it literally means he's not as effective in doing his damage. Is it Mortal? Yeah, it's Mortal. Yep. So anyway, taking away from who's the star of this episode. So yes, This is one of my favourite toys, and I believe the fire one has the same initial skill. So if you are looking for something that can cleanse those legendary debuffs off of your units, these girls are for you. Yes, the gear is hard to get, but if you can successfully farm the 10th stage, you should be able to do it. Skills. Yeah, so removes legendary debuffs as well. She can lower attack as well. Just damage, and that's about it. So you know, at the end of the day, I think these are an underestimated unit. I do believe they are hard to gear, but you can gear them things like mortal, brutal. There are still options. Alrighty. Well, that will be it for this video. Leave your comments below. Karo signing off.